What's going on, YouTube? This is Boxingwave, and we are back with some new bad news. And a fight that I'm actually surprised at myself. I'm surprised that I believe that this fight was really going to happen. Frank Martin, Shakur Stevenson, PBC, Showtime, and Top Rank, ESPN, undefeated fighters. You know what I mean? Like, I'm surprised that I fell for the trap, because up until maybe a couple of days ago, we heard that they signed for the fight. They made an agreement prior to purse bid, and it seemed like everything was all squared and all ready to go. You know what I mean? And I was happy because, look, when it comes to Shakur Stevenson, I mean, recently just about everybody has backed out on a fight with him. You had a Lomachenko situation. Lomachenko loses to Devin Haney, and we hear that he's taking the rest of the year off. All right. I already told you my thoughts on that. I see it as a duck because, like, what do we? Most people thought you won. You feel that you were robbed. But you're running out of time. There's not much time left to go, and Bob is already talking about having Lomachenko fight George Kambosos next year in Australia. This kind of reminds me of the Manny Pacquiao situation with Terrence Crawford years ago when Terrence was still at 140. Like Bob didn't want to make the fight happen. He just didn't, and he said it later. But at that time, we was like wanted that fight back then. You know what I mean? But here we are right now. Shakur Stevenson and Frank Martin. We were supposed to get it, and out of nowhere, we hear news first. I saw it on Mike Coppinger's Twitter. I said Twitter. Mike Coppinger first broke the news, and then I read the actual report on BoxingScene.com that Frank Martin has pulled out without giving us any information on why he's not taking a fight. I want to know why. I want to hear why. Give us something because as far as I'm concerned, it looks like a duck. You know what I mean? Why you in the line of fighters has pulled out or avoided Shakur Stevenson? It's been Lomachenko. It's been William Cepeda when De La Hoya said that he didn't want the fight. I know he's scheduled for a fight now, but William Cepeda, and his team previously said that didn't have any interest. Isaac Cruz has not had any interest in any other fighter outside of Tank Davis, so he's been ducking. You know what I mean? There's a number of fighters that just they don't want to fight Shakur Stevenson. You know what I mean? And this is why I said, and I have to go back to it, and you guys know where I'm going. This is why I said he should have took the 25%. And I know he feels that he's worth more, and if that's the way he feels, that's the way he feels. I mean, he is the fighter, but we got to be realistic. There's no way you were going to get 50% in a fight where the champion, you're challenging the champion who is undisputed. Devin Haney picked up those belts. You know what I mean? And then he had to defend them twice. Okay? He had to fly back to Australia. And he took a small percentage fighting against George Kambosos. You know what I'm saying? He had to put some sort of risk there because he believed in himself and his talent to go fly out to Australia and take those belts from over there, winning a decision, and come back here. And then defending them 2 more times. Once out there and 1 back over here. You know what I mean? He had to do that. And you had, the opportunity to fight for all 4 of those belts in 1 fight. And you would have been the favorite. But you should have agreed to the 25%. And, I know some people feel as though maybe most people don't feel that, it should have been 50-50, but they should have thought, they think that it should have been maybe 35%. I don't know. I think all of these fighters at some point, in order to make it to the next level, they're going to have to submit to a fight to where they're going to get paid less. They're going to be the B side. They agreed to be the B side in order to take that challenge and get that opportunity. And that would have been a great opportunity for Shakur Stevenson, especially if he were to win. You know what I mean? I mean, they both would have had a lot to prove there. Because if Devin Haney beat Shakur Stevenson, he would have proved to people that still doubt his talent. And now we're not getting the fight. And now the belts are going to be split up because Devin Haney is going up to fight Regis Prograis in November. All right. And that fight is finally official. So now we're stuck, and now Shakur Stevenson, according to the article, Edwin De Los Santos, who I'm a huge fan of. I made a video about Edwin not too long ago. I wasn't that familiar with him before, up into the fight where he had with Jose Valenzuela. I didn't know who he was, to be honest. But then when I saw his performance against Joseph Adorno, I was like, man, this guy is really. I was really, really, really impressed with him in that fight because I like Joseph Adorno, and I haven't seen anyone beat Adorno that easily. You know what I mean? He made it look very, very easy. Adorno's taking his losses and stuff, but he struggled with everybody struggled against him a little bit. You know what I mean? So that's the next opponent, I guess, for Shakur Stevenson, and it's not the name, but to be honest, I love that fight because I think Edwin is one of those dudes. I said this in a recent video where I said, this is the guy we got to look out for at 135. Everybody's talking about all these guys as more popular and stuff, but I think that Edwin beats a lot of these guys. A lot of them. He's very, very fast. He's very slick. This is a challenge for Shakur Stevenson. I like this fight. I want to see this fight. But I'm disappointed with Frank Martin because I felt like I was just thinking about making some content on just the styles of those two. Because Frank, I like his, he's a southpaw, he's explosive, he's powerful, he's quick. And even though I think Shakur would have been leaning towards Shakur, I'm going to lean towards Shakur against anybody. Anybody from 135, from 130 to 140, I'm going to lean towards Shakur against anybody. But I think there are certain fighters that I think could challenge him. And Santos is one. Frank would have been one, and there's some others. Devin Haney. There are some top tier lightweights or super lightweights that I think can challenge him, that's worthy of the fight. But I don't know what happened with Frank, man. I like Frank, and I was actually supporting him through all of this Keyshawn Davis stuff because, the issue really is that Keyshawn is with Keyshawn is with Crawford, and Spence and Frank are, on the same team. So, people will go to pick their sides based on that. You know what I mean? They're not picking their sides based on boxing. That's the problem. You know what I mean? With these fans, they're a different kind of fan. You know what I mean? They're just a different breed. They're not even talking about boxing anymore. Whoever you sign with or whatever network you fight on, we on your side. Especially when it comes to these cross-promoted fights. But I felt like Frank had a pass with Keyshawn because they're in a different space as far as their careers. I'm not saying it's not a bad fight. I would have loved to see the fight. If they agreed to make the fight, I would have been like, all right, this is good. But I understand Frank. Frank is a little bit more ahead. He's older. He's a little bit more ahead. I could understand why he would want to be fighting like a Tank Davis or even a Shakur Stevenson. So when I heard him fighting Shakur, I was like, these are kind of fights that should be happening. He's a top dog at 135. Shakur Stevenson's a top dog already. He's been to division champ, former unified champ. You know what I mean? He should have been, this is the kind of fights we need. But now it's like, damn, you had an opportunity. If Tank is unavailable because he's signed with, unless we find something out, like maybe Isaac Cruz is out of the picture and there's a lane to fight Tank Davis, then I would understand that fight. But any other fight that's available over there over Shakur Stevenson doesn't make sense for me. And this is for a vacant WBC title. I forgot to bring that up. This is for a vacant WBC title. All right. This is the title that Devin Haney did hold. Okay. But now that he's moving up to challenge Regis Prograis at 140 for his WBC title, this title would have been on the line. And now we're just going down the list of all of these fighters: Zepeda, Isaac Cruz, Lomachenko, all of these fighters that was on the rankings on the WBC that don't want to fight or that's not available or whatever excuse they're using. Frank Martin, all of these guys are out. Now we're down to Edwin De Los Santos, I believe. And I'm not mad either. I mean, luckily, fortunately for Stevenson, there's a lot of names, but I think the Frank Martin fight would have got more attention because now this is Edwin is a high risk. And I'm saying it here. Edwin is a high risk, low reward. I mean, this is the highest you can go as a risk to the lowest reward because no one's familiar with him. But I think this might be Shakur Stevenson from a stylistic matchup. This might be the most challenging opponent that he has on his resume right now. From a stylistic standpoint, I think Edwin brings much more to the table than including Oscar Valdez. He is bringing much more to the plate than everybody else that Shakur Stevenson has fought, in my opinion. He's quick. He's explosive. He's a good counterpuncher. And he has power. Shakur Stevenson got to be on his A game to fight someone that no one knows. He needs to be on his A game against this guy. We'll see on the fight night. But I'm not expecting this fight to be a great fight. I think this is going to be a chess match between two guys that's going to be trying to outbeat each other outthinking each other, trying to look for the counter. It's going to be a chess match. All right? It's going to have to be because both of them are fast, great counter punchers, very dangerous. I cannot wait to see this fight. This is a good fight. Disappointed in Frank. Looking forward to hearing something. Is it schedules issues? What is it? The coach, Derek James, got everybody. Got Ryan, got AJ. We got Aaron Spence rematch. We got Jamel Charlo coming up with Canelo. I want to know. I want to know the excuse because this is an opportunity for your biggest. If you already signed and agreed on a deal, you already agreed on it. Why are you backing out? You know what I mean? If you guys were able to settle a deal before the purse bid, being that, you know, this is a cross-promoted fight and this is for a vacant title and all that stuff, what happened? Why are you guys backing out? We need answers. You know what I mean? We need answers from you. You know, I brought up all the other stuff with Devin Haney and all that is old news at this point. But why are you not fighting Shakur Stevenson for a vacant title? What is your issue? You know, and hopefully we hear something from Team Frank Martin because I like him, but this is a duck for now. All right. So anyway, we'll talk more about that once we get some more information. Make sure you guys subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.